So what I would do is, a good karyam cheyyam. Just wanted to make a little deviation from whatever the Chief Administrative Officer suggested. What I would do is, I would seek as many questions as possible from you in the course of my speech itself. You need not wait till the completion of my speech so that it becomes an absolutely interactive session. And at the same time, just wanted to know how many of you are actually office bearers of the college union?
Please raise your hands.
So these are the young leaders. One leader is actually seated at the back bench, the last bench. The leaders should sit at the front bench. Please come forward. Please come forward. So may the leaders be in the front bench. And about other students, I think you're all from the PG classes. Am I correct? PG classes. Class representatives as well. So first and foremost, I'm so happy to come back to, SAFI Institute of Advanced Studies. The last time when I was here, I was having an interaction with the teachers. And that was done in the middle of the horrendous floods that were happening. On August 11th, when the government was actually anxiously calling me back to Cochin to coordinate the relief operations, I was here in SAFI. And after the class was complete, took the vehicle, sped off to Cochin in the fastest manner possible and reached Cochin before the helicopter carrying the Chief Minister landed in Cochin. So I could beat the helicopter of the Chief Minister. My simple, humble Innova could beat the helicopter because he had taken several other landings in the meantime. Due to that, of course, I could do that. Now, when I come to this place again and again, I find that there is an air of expectation all the time amongst you, the students. That air of expectation comes about on the basis of a great deal of curiosity about what will I be, who am I, and what are the things that I have acquired for myself. ശരിയാണോ? ഞാൻ ആരാകണം, എന്താണ് ഞാൻ, എനിക്ക് എന്തെല്ലാം കാര്യങ്ങൾ കൈവശമുണ്ട്. These are the three things which would really be wrangling your mind. After the completion of the age of 20 or 22, as the case may be UG or PG, you are on to the hard world of reality and facts. And in this world, what are the things that would come in handy for you if you are to succeed? If you are to succeed, several attributes, aspects need to be brought into close play. They need to come to a kind of a communion so that truthfulness, sincerity, dedication, and a great deal of sense of purpose together finally decide whether you are a victor or a loser. There are ever so many cases about the students who start off at the age of first standard, at the age of 5 in the first standard, and completing 10th standard by the age of 15 and 12th standard by the age of 17 in the most brilliant manner, coming a cropper in the later life. Why is it so? 15-ാം വയസ്സ് വരെ 17-ാം വയസ്സ് വരെ പ്രശസ്ത വിജയം നേടിക്കൊണ്ടുവരുന്നവർ കലാലയത്തിലെ ഗ്രാജുവേഷനും പോസ്റ്റ് ഗ്രാജുവേഷനും കഴിഞ്ഞ് ജീവിതത്തിലേക്ക് കടക്കുമ്പോഴേക്കും എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കുന്നു? സംഭവിക്കുന്നത് എന്തെന്ന് നമ്മൾ ആലോചിച്ച് മനസ്സിലാക്കേണ്ടതുണ്ട്. So, we need to first of all understand what exactly we mean by success in life. How can success come to you? Success cannot be measured by the count of the coins alone. Success is not measured just because you happen to have lots of degrees under your belt. It comes about as a result of the meaningful actions, relevant actions, which benefit yourself, the society, and the world at large. ശരിയാണ് ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞത്. നിങ്ങൾക്കും നിങ്ങളുടെ സമൂഹത്തിനും ഈ ലോകത്തിന് തന്നെയും ഏറ്റവും മികച്ച രീതിയിൽ, മെച്ചപ്പെട്ട രീതിയിൽ കാര്യങ്ങൾ നേടാൻ സാധിക്കുമെങ്കിൽ അത് വിജയമായി കണക്കാക്കാം. But in this 21st century, we need to look at certain other factors also. Kerala has seen the worst possible floods. And the foreign media from BBC to CNN to our own NDTV proclaim all over the world that it was also Kerala's finest hour. കേരളത്തിൻ്റെ ഏറ്റവും മികച്ച നിമിഷങ്ങൾ വെള്ളപ്പൊക്കത്തിൻ്റെ നിമിഷങ്ങളായിരുന്നു എന്ന് പറയുന്നു. എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് അങ്ങനെ പറയുന്നത്? ഒന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു തന്നെ. ദ ഫൈനസ്റ്റ് സ്റ്റാർ ഓഫ് കേരള എന്ന് അമേരിക്കൻ US മീഡിയ മുതൽ നമ്മുടെ ചൈനീസ് മീഡിയ വരെ കേരളത്തെ പറ്റി പറയുന്നത് എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ്? ഒരാൾ എഴുന്നേറ്റെന്ന് പറയാമോ? എവിടെ ചെയർമാനൊക്കെ ഇവിടെ ഉണ്ട്, എല്ലാവരും ഇവിടെ ഉണ്ടല്ലോ. ഏറ്റവും മികച്ച നിമിഷം, കേരളത്തിൻ്റെ ഏറ്റവും മികച്ച നിമിഷം, ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ വെള്ളപ്പൊക്ക ദുരിതമുണ്ടായ നിമിഷമാണെന്ന് പറയുന്നു. എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് അത് പറയുന്നത്? What happened during that time? Suddenly there was a great deal of unity that was created, cutting across all man-made barriers of caste, creed, color, and language and whatever. And there was a sense of purpose for everybody to save people as much as possible, to help each other, to have food from the same plate, be it the poor or the rich, be it the lowly place or the high and mighty. That was the kind of spirit which characterized the Kerala society 2 months back. 2 months later, you find that all kinds of controversies have erupted. Be it the bishop, be it Amma. Amma means, is it AMMA or Amma? That's a question which is looms large in front of all of us, whether it's AMMA or Amma, or whether it's Shabarimala, and so on and so forth. So what happened in the middle? Are we back to the old evil ways? Are we back to being the original archetypal Keralites? So, is there a very interesting philosophy behind it? We Keralites rise to the occasion only when it is required, and then go to a deep slumber immediately after that occasion is over. So are we waiting for the next floods to come? Are we waiting for that? The goodness within us, I believe in the axiom that every person in this world has got a certain deal of goodness that is embedded within him or her. Correct? എല്ലാ മനുഷ്യരും ഒരൽപ്പം ഒരൊത്തിരി നന്മ അവരുടെ ഹൃദയങ്ങളിൽ കുടികൊള്ളുന്നു. അങ്ങനെ കുടികൊള്ളുന്ന ആ നന്മ പുറത്തേക്ക് വരാൻ പലപ്പോഴും പറ്റുന്നില്ല, പല കാരണങ്ങളാൽ. In certain cases, because of the gentle talk, the absolutely sweet smile, and the helpful ways, this virtue of yours, the goodness of yours, comes to the fore on a daily basis, from morning till evening, in the case of certain persons whom we call as selfless persons, or absolutely people who are of such helpful attitude to everyone. വലിയ സഹായിയാണെന്ന് പറയുന്നില്ലേ, നല്ല സഹായിയാണ്, നല്ല മനുഷ്യനാണ്, നല്ല കുട്ടിയാണെന്നൊക്കെ പറയുന്നില്ലേ. In the case of others, it is always, kind of frozen within you, which never comes out, and you characterize him, you call him, or rather depict him as a selfish person, as a person who is absolutely cruel. But in this cruel, selfish person as well, there is a great deal of innate goodness, and that innate goodness needs to be brought forth. This brings us to the most important lesson in leadership: how to bring about the goodness within a person to the fore so that the world benefits out of it. അവനവൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ അന്തർലീനമായ നന്മയുടെ സത്യത്തിൻ്റെ അംശങ്ങൾ, കിരണങ്ങൾ, അവ എങ്ങനെ പുറത്തേക്ക് ബാഹ്യലോകത്തേക്ക് കൊണ്ടുവരാൻ സാധിക്കും? എങ്ങനെ അവനെ കൊണ്ട് ഒരു പൊതിച്ചോറ് അവരന് കൊടുക്കുവാൻ സാധിക്കും? എങ്ങനെ സുഖമില്ലാത്ത ഒരു മനുഷ്യൻ നടന്നു വരുമ്പോൾ അയാളെ കൈപിടിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് റോഡിൻ്റെ ഒരു വശത്ത് നിന്ന് മറുവശത്തേക്ക് ആനയിക്കുവാൻ സാധിക്കും? And how to vacate your seat inside the town buses, inside the bus, when a lady or an old infirm person seeks a seat. This is something of a goodness which you exhibit on a daily basis. Inside your classrooms, somebody falls sick. That person has lost a few classes. Would it be possible for you to keep a carbon paper under your sheet, and see to it that the notes that are dictated in the classroom are provided to that gentleman who couldn't attend the classes because of genuine reasons, and not the ungenuine reasons like cutting classes for going for the movies. Kindly don't do that for the person who has gone off to see a movie or to see a football match at the expense of, cutting a class. But for the genuine person, will you be able to do that or not? Will you be willing to share the notes with your friend of yours without in any way hesitating just because you feel that the gentleman may score greater marks than me? That's what you call as selflessness and broad-mindedness. A person becomes a true leader only when you can think beyond yourself and place the society before yourself. Place yourself behind the society. The society comes in front, you stand behind him. Then there is that ideal of bravery, guts, determination, and a great vision about the future. Persons who are endowed with that vision about the future needs to share that with your friends around you. Suddenly you find that beyond being an ordinary person, you get transformed to becoming a leader with a great deal of followers who share your vision. That's what you call the sharing of the vision. There is a vision, there is an objective. There is an objective that needs to be fulfilled at the end of the day or at the end of a particular season. And for that, all of you decide to move ahead. You are committed to the cause. You tend to move as an army. You see to it that something good is done for the society. As students, university students, what are the things that you could do? There are certain traits, hallmarks that are required for a leader to be a leader. One is truthfulness. Second is hard work. Third is dedication. Fourth is the power to bring in more new thoughts into the process. Being innovative. Innovations, out of the box thinking, new concepts and practices and ideas. These are the things which really differentiate you from the ordinary person. Hard work, sincerity or truthfulness, dedication, innovation, and more than all that, a great deal of sense of humility. Be humble in whatever you attain. That sense of humility needs to be embedded within you. You are a great singer, you are a great dancer, a great painter. And you have the visions to become an extraordinary painter one day. That doesn't necessarily mean that you need to really show it out to the whole world and boast about it everywhere, stating that I need not pay heed to anybody else. That is not the answer to be made. Instead of that, be humble whenever you scale the heights of excellence. With whatever little traits which I had remarked now, which I've detailed now, we need to look forward into the kind of confluences of all these traits which leads you to success stories. Everyone has got 24 hours. I have 24 hours, you too have 24 hours. Albert Einstein had 24 hours, but he created the theory of relativity and other extraordinary ways of thought. We also had 24 hours. Mahatma Gandhi had also had 24 hours. But then, how to make use of those 24 hours in the most productive, effective manner calls for a greater deal of time management and a greater deal of planning. And this time management happens only when you have a clear focus as to what you should achieve at the end of the day. Days are fleeting, time keeps flying. When time travels on the wings of fire, you don't know when January begins and when suddenly you are in December. Years just fly past us. In 2015 or 2016, I thought that perhaps time could be a bit slow and I could do a lot more things than whatever I could imagine. But then I found, to my absolute dismay, that suddenly 17 and 18 began to cross over. Hello. In 2018, you started off with January, and this is the end of October. And what has happened? How many things were achieved in the past 10 months? Were we able to attain the kind of productive things which we had set forth for ourselves on January 1? Every year, when the clock strikes 12 and the midnight hour passes to the new year, all of us greet each other with Happy New Year. Next day morning on January 1, we always bring about a new set of resolutions, the kind of things that I'm going to do this year. But January 10, everything is forgotten and you become the good old self. Now after that, what happens to time? Time is just frittered away. You just go on in an aimless manner. And what are you achieving at the end of the day? Remember, the world is actually meant for the winners, and not for the persons who are characterized as also runs. Persons can always run the race. It's not a question of a symbolic participation that people do for marathon races. In marathon, 42 miles and 185 yards, 42 kilometers and 185 yards is totally out of question for many persons. So we say, let's go for half marathon. 21 kilometers. Even 21 kilometers becomes too difficult a task and you stop at 10 kilometers or so. Somebody finally runs the race and wins the prize as well. That's meant for marathon. But in this long marathon called life, there are no two takers for the prize. Prize is only for the winner, for the victorious, and how to be a victorious person. When you amass wealth, or when you come to have a greater deal of acquisition, a greater deal of, collection of all the powers in the world, are you a triumphant person? Unfortunately not. Let's go back to BC 326. Alexander the Great, traveling all the way from Macedonia and Greece, having conquered the world, he finally reached the banks of Jhelum in the present-day Pakistan. He met with the native king. What was his name? Paurava, Poras, Purushottama, whatever. He met with this king, BC 326. He had a great battle over there, in which, of course, Alexander the Great had the best of the day, but at the same time, as an extraordinary person, trained by none other than Aristotle, he said, "You are an extraordinary king. I value you, I respect you, and I'm coming back." Now that is the hallmark of a winner. Alexander could have easily overtaken the whole of Indian subcontinent. He did not do that. Similar are several cases that come in. Be it Ashoka the Great, after the massacre that happened in Kalinga in the present-day Odisha, what did he say? He renounced violence, he renounced warfare, and adopted a new faith named Buddhism. We can see several instances of this nature. What is it that separates these emperors from ever so many bloody emperors, blood-stricken emperors, whom we had seen dime a dozen in world history as well as Indian history? When we come to literature, social life, cultural life, or for that matter, any stream of human activity, we find that there are so many instances wherein the amassment of wealth, the accumulation of power, does not necessarily lead a person to be a victor. For a person to be a victor, he needs to be a true leader with all the lofty ideals of life. For a person to be a true leader, as I illustrated earlier, you need to place the society or the world before yourself. Selfishness has to take the back seat. Selflessness has to take the front seat. Got it? Selflessness, sincerity, dedication, and a great deal of innovative thinking needs to come forth. And then there is a blend of spiritualism that is to be associated. Because we thank the Almighty for all the good things, the virtues that have befallen us during our lifetime. Now, without him, would it have been possible for us to continue in this manner, in an easy manner? No. That brings us to a question. Beyond all the material gains that you had and all the good things that had happened to your life, if you are to sustain it and to take it forward, you need to be humble and you need to be completely dedicated to whatever spiritual force you would love to preach, you would love to respect. And that sense of spirituality brings about a remarkable sea change in your attitude towards life. Then you begin to understand that, after all, what is the lifespan of a person in India, in Kerala, and in the world? As per the WHO statistics, Kerala has an average lifespan of around 75 to 78. And in this lifespan, 20 or 25 years of life is spent for education and all those attachments of education. Then another 3 or 4 years would be spent searching for job for the less fortunate ones, or 1 or 2 years for the more fortunate ones. Thereafter, you start off your journey, your vocation is begun. Your family life begins, your social life begins. Till the age of 60 or 65, you are in full steam. Thereafter, slowly, steadily, the energy gets sapped. You get sapped of your energy. And then there is a decline in terms of the activities per day. And by the time it's 70 or 75, your visits to the clinic and to the doctor gets increased. And your dalliance or your romance with the medicines of the day becomes greater. There is a romance between yourself and all those medicines that you take. And finally, when you cross over 80, you would tell yourself that these are all bonus years for me. Perhaps I may go off tomorrow. Perhaps I may stay on for some more time. When there is a kind of an air of fatality that is introduced in yourself, you leave all your creative spirits to the air and you become absolutely reserved to yourself, or absolutely you become a cocoon into yourself. So that leaves us with a space between the age of 25 and the age of 60 or 65 for the most productive phase of your life. That's just 40 years, 65 minus 25. Just 40 years. And in these 40 years, what are the things that you could do? What are the things that you did and which really impacted the society in a positive manner? And how did you really become a model for others to emulate? These are questions which need to be answered. Small things done in your small neighborhood may transform your society in a small way. This world cannot be changed altogether. As mere mortals, perhaps we may be able to change our neighborhood. And if you have to change our neighborhood, what are the things that you have to do to yourself? Be clean. Keep your environments clean. And see to it that better civic practices are introduced by you. And then you try to contribute something to the society. And that something is what you call as virtue, which is done, acts of virtue, which go straight into the heart of the society. And then the society, in its gratitude, returns the compliment by stating that, after all, there is a graceful person like you. At the age of 80 or 85, when you are gasping for the last breath of your life, and when the spirit is beginning to leave your mortal body, there is a reflection that comes about in yourself. What did I do in life so as to make it meaningful? And how can I be remembered hereafter? Then I begin a thoughtful reflection about the years that have passed by. And if I can finally give an answer stating that I could do quite a few small things in this world which are of merit, which are of virtue, and I believe that my life had been largely meaningful, then I can say that my journey has been fulfilled. Years later, decades later, after you pass away, when your successors finally come to your grave, stand by your grave and tell the future generations that herein lies the mortal remains of a man, of a woman, who had a virtuous life, and we are the truthful successors of this person, that's when you can state that it is the greatest tribute to yourself in your whole lifetime. These banyan trees of virtue, which we could begin planting as small saplings, have to grow to become banyan trees. These banyan trees which provide shade and comfort to millions of people. So I bring back to the last point, be a banyan tree providing shade and comfort to millions of people. That's wherein the greatness of a person lies. That's wherein the truthfulness of a person lies. As students who are out to make a mark in the life, let's be true to our textbooks, to the authoritative books, and also at the same time keep your eyes and your ears open so as to understand the latest waves of change blowing across the world. The world is changing like anything. With every passing moment, the world keeps changing. How to transform this world in a small way is a question before you and me. Yesterdays have gone forever. Yesterdays are consigned to the trash bins of history. Todays are coming to an end. It's 3 in the afternoon. How many more hours before dusk sets in? When the dusk sets in, slowly, steadily, you're dying, you're going into that little gentle night. When pitch darkness overcomes us, overtakes all of us, we'll feel ourselves in total darkness, and we ask each other, where is that flickering light of hope to show us the way? Where is the flickering lamp that can show us the way to this labyrinthine cave? That's when you lose all your hope. But please wait. Within us, the radiance of the new tomorrow comes in. The first rays of the sun, when they hit the labyrinthine cave, you find that suddenly through the night, there was a flickering lamp of dharma, flickering lamp of truth that was kept alive within us without anybody nudging us. This is what you call as the innate goodness of a person. We search for Mahatmas everywhere, but Mahatma has gone forever. There won't be a Mahatma to show us the way, but there is a Mahatma within us, that innate goodness within us, which shows us the way through the darkness, through the wind and the hail and the storm. And next day, it becomes an absolutely radiant tomorrow. Ushering those radiant tomorrows. Yesterdays were yesterdays, todays happen to be dying out, and tomorrows are for those persons who have the zest, the zeal, the determination, and a great deal of hopes and aspirations for creating a new society. A new world, a new society, and a new beginning needs to be made out. These are the hopes, these are the kind of values that should really reflect upon the space the days that are spent here in your campuses. These days in your campus would finally determine the character of your person. They would determine the kind of the world, the nature of the world to which you would aspire to belong. And you would try to create a new world. So dear budding leaders, ladies and gentlemen, I would implore you, I would beseech you to strive to create a new world, a new horizon where there is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That's the pot of gold which you need to snatch, to collect, and see to it that it becomes your ultimate preserve within yourself. We need to do that. So many hopes are nestling within you. These hopes need to be turned into reality. If they are to be turned into realities, be true to yourself, be true to the society, and strive to be good to this world. These are the things which need to be characterized in your words, deeds, actions, and your thoughts on a daily basis in your student life and hereafter. Wish you all the best. I'm so happy to find all of you in my midst, and I'm so glad for the new Colonel Nisar, the new CEO, had come over with his strict, the martial-like approach. I think he should be able to carry forth everything in the spick and span manner in which things are to be done. I had always had a little romance with this lovely countryside, lovely hillock. The kind of the number of hours, the number of evenings I've spent over here remain green in my memories. That's one which beckons me all the time to this place. And I hope and pray that all those inmates of this hillock would also be true to the beauty of this place and then radiate that inner beauty with all your deeds and actions. Wish you all the best. May God bless you. Thank you very much.